Welcome back to the House of Cards, everybody. Glad to have you here. Today we are going to do our first card show recap, which is going to be sort of a new series I'm going to start doing after a card show. Within a couple days afterwards, I want to kind of go through all the different deals and transactions that were made during the show. Maybe not every single one, because some of these shows get really busy and there's a lot of cards flying around, but definitely some of the key deals and transactions that happened during the show. I think it'll also be helpful for you out there that are in the industry to sort of get a pulse of kind of what's going on out there in the card show world. It's obviously a little bit different than eBay, as you know, eBay constantly has sellers and buyers from all over the world that are looking for different things. So it's not really a way to kind of gauge, I guess you say, where people's interests lie currently in the market, because it's obviously changes all the time. So this will be a nice little kind of insider look to sort of see what was sought after by buyers, what people were selling, what the overall like just market was looking like in general. I will go over as much as that as possible. So hopefully that's a nice news video series that you can look forward to from me moving forward. But before we get into it, like always, jump on into the subscriber pool, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. Join the family here. We are going to be putting out a lot more videos coming up here shortly. And then, of course, if you like this video, would love for you to hit the like button and drop a comment. Let me know about the deals and the trades that I did. Let me know if you think I did terrible or made a good trade. I mean, some of these are, kind of opinionated based on my personal taste and, I guess you would say, overall, market sort of predictions, but a lot of it is very skeptical on who's kind of basing their opinion on the trade and on the deals. So but I still like to hear it, one way or the other. Let me know your feedback, and good, bad, or whatever. That's appreciated. All right, well, let's go ahead and start here. So what we're going to do is, in the past, I've tried to do live footage from the shows, and it's really challenging when you don't have like a video person standing there videotaping every transaction that comes across your table. So instead, what I did was I took pictures of all of the deals that were made, not all of them, of course, but most of them, and definitely most of the big ones that were made throughout the day, so I can document a lot of it to go over with you guys. So it's going to be a mix of just cards that I sold, and then a mix of deals, trades that we did. Some of them were straight trades, some of them were part cash, part trade. I'll do my best to recap sort of what the dollar amounts were. I may be off on a couple just because there was so many that happened over the 2 days that I can't remember the exact amount, but I can at least give you a pretty educated guess. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the first one. And again, also I want to kind of address something here. You guys have noticed the little video angle has changed. So as we go, I might pull out some of the cards and stick them up on these little chintzy stands here, and kind of just have these in the background as we kind of go through things. So it gives you guys a little bit of something to look at, I guess. And I've heard this from my viewers that they thought it would be nice if I had some cards in the background to look at as I kind of talked here with my hands like a mime. So hopefully that's something you guys enjoy. So I will continue to do this moving forward, and we will keep it rolling. So let's jump in here. The very first transaction of the day was from a kid that I've done a lot with. He always comes in, he's like one of the first ones at the show. He always is really smart, honestly. He gets to dig through some of the bargain bins and stuff before anyone else does. So as you'll see here, this is a 2010 Topps Chrome King Ruffy Jr. The price tag on there is what I sold it for, a cool $10. It's a beautiful car. It's actually in really good condition, just slightly off center, left to right. So probably wouldn't get a gem mint, but it definitely is a gradable card. I predict. I just, have been shy on grading cards this cheap right now. Even with SGC at $30, comes back a 9 or something, you're barely going to break even on that, if not maybe losing a little money. But what's cool about this card is that, well, it's a Mariners card, so obviously it's a hometown cards, but it's also a card that is his very last year as a Mariner. So he retired shortly thereafter. He made his little stint back with the Mariners, and then he retired shortly thereafter. So it's King Ruffy Jr.'s final year as a Mariner, or as a baseball player, card in a Topps Chrome refractor. So pretty cool, provenance to the card and history of the card, that it's not just a random year Griffey card, but it actually has some meaning. So anyways, I thought it was a good pickup. I complimented him on picking that out of the hundreds of cards that were in my bargain bin, and he seemed to be very happy with it. So there you go. That was my very first transaction of the day. All right, here's slide number 2. This is going to be one that's a little misleading because the pricing that you see on those stickers was not what I ended up selling them for. As we all know, Zion is pretty down right now. His prices have pretty much gone in half of what they were, even say, earlier this season when he was still predicted to come back. The news that he's probably going to end up sitting out the rest of the year definitely didn't help his market. Granted, I'm still a believer. I still think Zion has a future. I do believe that, he's, I've used the term too big to fail, no pun intended, but I think the fact that he is such a hype player with a lot of money invested to him, whether through, endorsements or, obviously through the Pelicans and whatnot, like they're going to work with him to get him back. I do know his injury is pretty serious, a lot more serious than I think what people have let on to make it seem. There's a lot of, doctors and stuff that have recognized the type of foot injury he has that is very hard to come back from. So there's that kind of lingering, achiness that's going to probably be with him for the rest of his career. But there's hopefully a chance that there's a some kind of medical science solution that can get him to get back to his former self, because he was quite amazing last year. I really hope he doesn't go down the path of Greg Oden and others, but there's always a chance. But I do still think that he's still young. He still seems like he could bounce back, but time will tell. So anyways, I ended up selling these 2 Zion cards to a fellow dealer, gave him a really good deal on it. I think I ended up taking about like 30% off the sticker prices you see here. He seemed to be pretty happy getting 2 pretty sought after cards. So that was a nice quick transaction that happened within the first 10 minutes of me being set up. So moving on. Okay, and here's another one. Actually, a dealer that was behind me, he really wanted this card. It was a beautiful 10 purple Noel V. Marte first Bowman card. So I gave him I told him, what, this card is one of those ones where I feel like it's got a lot more room. Probably not going to need to lower down the price too much, as I thought it was fairly comped. So he ended up paying full sticker price. So that was nice to give a fellow dealer next to me a very nice card that he really wanted. So again, I price my comps usually somewhere in the middle, not the highest, not the lowest, but somewhere in between. So either way, if you pay full sticker on my slabs, you're not really going to get, beat up too bad. So I definitely feel like he felt like he got a good deal, because he came back after thinking about it and decided to go ahead and purchase it. So yeah, nice Noel V. Marte. Again, Seattle Mariners local homer stuff going on there, but it is what it is. Okay, and here was a quick transaction. This was the John Moran. This is out of the Chronicles Luminance set. This is just the base card, but it did get a 10. This card is pretty iconic because it does have that amazing almost dunk that he had over Kevin Love. So the photograph on this is, I think, one of the best that's been on a card in years. But it was, priced at $100, which, it's kind of fluctuated here and there. Jaw has been really hot recently, so it probably was maybe even a smidge lower than what it could have sold for on eBay. But, I always consider the fact I'm paying fees and stuff on top of that. So I'm always happy to give a small discount. So I believe I ended up selling this one for $90 to the gentleman. So yeah, nice little Jaw. Jaw was definitely a hot, ticket there at this show. A lot of people, interested in Jaw cards, definitely. So, anything Jaw, definitely you could command a pretty high premium on it. Okay, and another player that was red hot at this show, Jared Kelnick. Obviously, he's a Seattle Mariner, so another homer. But at the same time, he's definitely one of those prospects that I think a lot of people think are going to hit the ground running in this upcoming season. Of course, making sure that the season happens and everything, it will be his first and foremost business. But if it does happen, I think he kind of, found his stride at the end of last year. You can see his batting and his production was super high in the last couple months of the season. So I think a lot of people think that's going to carry over into 2022. So his cards were flying off the shelves. I had a raw Bowman, just the base auto, which I had priced very fairly, and the Bowman Best on-card auto, which is really sweet. I think it's a really undervalued card. I got a 1010 from SGC. I graded that myself, so I did have some margin on it already, so I was happy to give a slight 10% discount on the pair. So the guy was really happy. He didn't have either one of these autos of Kelnick, so he scooped them up and went on his way. So Kelnick, again, was definitely one of the hottest pickups. So here's another deal that involved Kelnick. So on the top here, you'll see the 2 Kelnicks that I sold to this fella. This was the variation tops update Kelnick, which is a cool card because it does have a Kyle Lewis in the card with him, as you can see his jersey. And then there was the Heritage high number that was the refractor here that was numbered out of, I believe it's 572. So those two cards, and then we ended up, I ended up getting the Jamal Musiala purple parallel here, and a small bit of cash to make up the difference. So nice little trade here. I was able to pick up a hot young soccer player in a numbered parallel, and he got a couple nice Kelnick cards for his collection. So another nice trade there. I have a lot of Kelnick, so I'm not like too, you know, tied to the cards. I definitely have plenty more where those came from. So being able to pick up some Musialas and some soccer, you know, with my idea of, you know, World Cup coming up and stuff, and just kind of stacking those up and, you know, getting ready for that big wave that's coming. Okay, here's a fun one that actually got pulled out of one of my, you know, bargain slab bins. My bargain slab bins have slabs that are in the hundreds of dollars too, so it's not just a bunch of $10, $20 slabs in there. But this was a really hard one to price out because it was a super low pop, but it, you know, the raw copies of this don't sell for much. They're maybe like $10, $12, you know, ballpark, right? These cards are interesting because they have refractors that could be either just the Tim Duncan, or it could be the other side, or it could be both. So it kind of is like this weird, it's a weird card to find with, you know, both the double refractor, but also to find it in a PSA 10 is super rare. So ended up selling this to him, I think right at the sticker price. I think we negotiated maybe down like $10 or something, but it was you know, a nice pickup. He enjoyed a lot of the older stuff, so I think he liked having this card, and I thought it was a sweet card. I got it raw a long time ago, sent it in at the real, you know, cheap PSA grading level, and got it back a 10. So I was really happy with it. You know, didn't have much invested into it, but I thought it was a sweet piece for someone that, you know, kind of got into the more, you know, kind of 90s, early 2000s sort of you know, refractors and collectible stuff during that period, which of course, as we all know, is amazing period to collect. Okay, here is another Jared Kelnick. So I had two of these in my case. I had one that was a refractor and one was the base. So here's the second one that ended up selling as well. That one I think went for full stickers, so nothing too crazy there. But yeah, definitely Jared Kelnick day, man. People were really excited. I think, you know, with baseball only being a few months away, of course, like I said earlier, granted everything goes over with the lockout, but I do think it'll hopefully get the season on time going. But yeah, as of right now, people are getting hyped up for baseball, so excited to see a lot of that going through. All right, and this guy sold this DAC. This was the purple parallel from his Optic rookie card there. So sold this at full sticker price. This was a buy to get graded that he said he wanted to buy one card that was a decent value that he wanted to send in for grading. This was another dealer that was just kind of, you can tell, getting itchy to buy something. So he went through my bins and found that, and you know, it's a really nice copy. There is definitely a gradable copy. It's just one of those cards I just haven't gotten around to yet. So you know, I thought he felt pretty good about it, and I felt good about it. So we ended up at full sticker. But if it does come back a high grade, that's definitely a very valuable card, and it's a nice parallel to with the purple. I think it looks better than some of the other parallels. So yeah, so, and of course, as we know, Dak, you know, hey, you know, there's a chance he can make some noise in the playoffs. So it's a little bit of a speculative gamble as well if he you know, ends up doing really well. So maybe he'll send that in on Express, get it back quick, and then, you know, sell it during the playoffs. But I don't really know what his plan is with it. But I just thought it was funny that he wanted to buy something specifically to go get graded. So that was his mission. All right, so here's an interesting trade that I did. This guy mostly was 90s basketball collector. He had, you know, some other stuff too, but really, you know, loved 90s basketball. Granted, this Kobe Bryant card isn't from the 90s. It's the early 2000s, but, you know, it's Kobe Bryant, so, you know, kind of falls into that bucket of 90s, you know, I guess you say stars and whatnot. So he had a few things he was trying to get rid of. I, again, got this Kobe Bryant for fairly cheap for raw, and then I graded it through PSA, got it, you know, took a year, got it back. So I was into it for a pretty low amount. Had a high sticker on it because it was a Pop 1 PSA. This actually is a numbered card. It's a super high number. It's like, I think, above 1,000. But it's, you know, a pretty cool, you know, Stadium Club press proof silver card that is numbered, which, you know, I thought, you know, anything numbered obviously is cool. PSA 10 is cool. The fact that there's a Pop 1 is cool. So I put a $200 price tag on it, even though the card itself is probably like a $10 card, $15 card maybe. But, you know, with the grade and with the rarity of it, I thought it was valuable. So he had this Cooper Kupp Phoenix card here. This is a rookie patch auto. So this is a rookie card, even though it doesn't say rookie on the card, but it is from Cooper Kupp's rookie season. So obviously we all know Cooper Kupp just had, you know, the year of years for a wide receiver. Definitely is, you know, one of the top candidates for MVP and so on. So I thought that, hey, it might be a smart move for me to get this Cooper Kupp, get it, flip it, and make some money on it. Hard to put a value on this Cooper Kupp. It was actually numbered out of 25, so pretty low numbered card. So we put a raw value on it of about $125. So he ended up paying me the difference of in cash between the two, and I ended up actually selling the Cooper Kupp in a bulk deal with a local Whatnot dealer. So just to kind of give you a preface, I did not capture all of those cards that I sold to the Whatnot guys. They got over $2,000 worth of cards from me, mostly in kind of the lower price range. So they had probably, I would say, probably about 50 to 75 cards that they bought from me, and then they came back and bought like another 10 to 12 cards later. They were just, you know, stacking up inventory to have for their Whatnot channel, and they would just, you know, sell it live on there. And I never really kind of watched Whatnot, and then my buddy came around and showed me their live stream that they were doing while I was at the show, and they were actually selling one of the cards that I had sold to them the day before on the first day. And it's pretty interesting to watch it like get transacted. It ended up selling for about $5 more than what I sold it to them for. So yeah, there's a margin in there for them, which is pretty interesting to see sort of how they do business. So they just buy in bulk and then sell it on Whatnot. And, you know, I gave them, of course, a kind of a bulk discount because they did buy so much at once. So I'm sure they made some margin, which is great. But at the end of the day, the Cooper Kupp ended up getting sold like right away for a smidge more than I actually got it for in this deal. So, you know, I ended up being on the right side of that overall because, you know, the Kobe, like I said, got it raw, upgraded it. And then the Cooper Kupp, I just got it recently and then sold it right away. So anyways, don't have either of these anymore, but just wanted to kind of give you the backstory. Okay, this was kind of a sweet deal. There's a little kid, I would guess he's probably 9 years old-ish ballpark. His dad and him were walking around. He loved DK Metcalf, just was in love with DK Metcalf. I have quite a bit of DK Metcalf. So you guys might have seen on some of my previous videos, I had that Shadow Ink card there from Panini Black, the numbered card out 25 with the gold ink. The kid was just in love with that card, just head over heels for it. And he also liked this select patch card that I had as well. So his dad was really cool. He ended up going out and pulling some money out of the cash machine and buying these for the kid. I gave him about 20 bucks off of the sticker price. So they were, he was super happy. And then even cooler story was the guy, a guy who was at my table, who I ended up doing a deal with later, had a bunch of kind of like, you know, like decent second year DK cards. Ended up giving it to the kid for free. You know, they're probably like $10 cards and nothing crazy, but ended up giving the kid a couple of sweet DKs, second year cards. And so the kid was just in heaven. He ended up walking out with these two beauties, and then of course the two cards he got for free as well. So he had a pretty good day at the card show with his dad. So again, just kind of, you know, keeping the future generations of card collectors, you know, engaged, giving them a little love. You know, I think that's always a cool thing to do. So yeah, so I'm happy these went to a good home. I definitely love that Shadow Ink card. I, you know, only had it for about a week or so, so a little sad to see it go, but definitely, you know, happy that it went to a good place. So there you go. Okay, so here is a pretty decent trade that went down. So the Justin Herbert was on the left was the card that I acquired, and then the Patrick Mahomes was the card that I ended up trading. So the Mahomes I had priced about $550, which was about right with comps. It is an elite card that was numbered out of $4.99. So it's a nice, you know, numbered card, PSA 9, solid grade. You know, any Patrick Mahomes rookie with a number on it, I think is a great card. But $550 was about what it was commanding from recent comps. Of course, Mahomes is down right now a little bit. He's crept up a bit since his, you know, kind of early season blunders. But I just think that, you know, this card, I did buy this card raw, got it graded. So, you know, it wasn't like I wasn't into it for the full $550, you know, maybe a bit under that, but still it was a super nice card that, you know, was a little hard to see go, but, you know, I'm there at the show, I'm there to deal, right? One card that I wanted to get was a nice Herbert card, which, you know, right now I only had the rookie patch auto that I've been holding for a while. So I wanted to get something that was kind of mid-range, decent. This was an interesting one because it's the Panini Black. It's the silver Panini Black card. Panini Prism Black. So what I've heard was that this is a new set that's going to be dropping as a standalone set soon, probably not till later next year or this year, but it's out of Chronicles. But you only get, I think, like one or so of the Panini Prism Black cards out of a box of Chronicles. So somewhat rare. The Herbert Silver in a SGC 10. Hard to put a value on it. The only sales that were done in an SGC slab were 9s. Those are selling for about $150 to $160. So I figured give it about a $400 margin on it. It's not margin, but value on it. And we use that sort of as our proxy for the 10. So we ended up doing this trade, and then he gave me about $150 cash on top of it to kind of match the value of the Mahomes. So I ended up getting a nice rare Herbert Silver Prism Black card, SGC 10, and he got a nice Mahomes PSA 9 Elite base card. So that was a pretty sweet deal. I know some people might say, oh, Herbert for Mahomes, I don't know if that's a good deal, but then after watching his game against the Raiders, even though he lost, I mean, I think he earned a lot of fans just seeing what he did in that game and how amazing he orchestrated that that fourth quarter drive to tie the game. Unfortunately, it would have been cool if he would have won and got into the playoffs, but I do think that kind of created that more of the lure around Herbert as becoming one of the top quarterbacks in the league moving forward. I think the Chargers, if they get a couple more pieces, can definitely compete with the Chiefs and anyone else in the AFC. So I'm still very bullish on Herbert, hence why I did this deal. All right, this was a nice Topps Chrome Refractor Russell Wilson card that was raw. Probably definitely a gradable card. A little off center, left to right. Probably would have gotten a PSA 9 in my opinion if I sent it in. Could have gotten a BGS 9.5 if the centering would have got a 9 and the rest would have been higher grade. So it really was nice. It had good corners and surface and all that. But I kept it raw, had it 175. The recent comps on it were doing about 150, so slightly higher just because of the condition. I felt like it could command a slightly higher price. I did end up selling it for full sticker price to a gentleman. Actually, the guy who gave the kid the DK Metcalf cards ended up buying this from me as well. So went to a really big Seahawks collector home. So happy that it found a nice place to land there. I actually ended up, the original way I got this was actually in a lot that I got this with a DK Contenders championship ticket card. So I got them together for a really fair price. So I would say I was into this card for fairly less than that, but again, that's why we do this, right? Is to get deals, make a little bit of money, and move on. Okay, here was a big boy deal that went down. So this was probably the most I guess high dollar transaction of the day. So on the left is the Kylian Mbappe 2018 Prism Silver card in a BGS 9.5, and it had some really beautiful subgrades on it. It wasn't a true gem, but it has a 10 on centering, which is great, which is really hard to get 10s from BGS if anyone has graded with them. Had 9.5 on edges, 9.5 on corners, and a 9 on surface. So overall, I think it's a candidate that it could get a crack and submit to PSA if I wanted to go that direction. Not necessarily a possibility that I would do like right now, but I think if I wanted to hold on to this card and to kind of keep it around for the World Cup and stuff, that might be the move, is to send it to PSA and maybe get back a 10, and then we're talking about a very high value. So to break down the transaction, the cards on the right were mine. That was the Bowman Brady 8.5 that I recently had graded, along with a Giannis gold hoops card. So it's the gold parallel. It's not numbered, it's just the gold parallel BGS 9.5. So overall, the value you'll see on the stickers is exactly what we ended up doing. So I did $1,900 for the Brady and $450 for the Giannis for a total of $2,350 in trade value. The Brady was slightly high on the comps. It was kind of floating closer to like $1,500-$1,600 over the last one or two comps. Of course, with BGS, the subgrades are what matters. So, of course, if one has slightly better subgrades and it's still an 8.5, probably command a slightly higher price than one that was, lower. So overall, you always got to take that in consideration. I saw the Mbappe subgrades. I think were pretty clean. With the 10 centering, made me feel really good about it. So I gave him the highest comp value. He gave me the highest comp value on the Brady. So I think in between we were fair to each other. We both kind of probably overcomped it by $200 or $300. So at that point, it doesn't really matter, right? You're just kind of moving money back and forth, and it's not really going to change anything as far as the way the deal went. So overall, there was a $750 price difference between the $2,350 that I had in value and then the $1,600 for the Mbappe that he had in value. So he gave me the Mbappe and then paid the the Mbappe at $1,600 and then paid the $750 in cash to equal the $2,350 in value that I gave him. So another Brady through my hands. With Brady, it's a little tricky. You always want to, hold on to GOAT cards, especially rookie GOAT cards. I kind of feel like I've had 4 over the last probably 5 months that I've gotten in, graded, and, and sold or traded. I feel like there's plenty out there. I mean, not saying there's not a lot of Mbappe silvers either, because there are a decent amount out there. But I think with Brady, I don't know when we're going to hit the peak of his market. He went so high so fast over the summer and the early fall that I'm a little concerned right now that maybe his prices are kind of peaking, and might be a pullback soon just because of how high they got really fast. Mostly for probably the more like mid-career Brady stuff, like the 2010, 11, 12, 13. Seeing some of those like Topps Chrome refractors going for like over $1,000 just boggles my mind, because I was buying those for like $20 raw, not that long ago. So I think that might be where the pullback is. I think maybe the Bowmans and the other rookie stuff will kind of settle down and maybe just kind of stay where they are. So I don't predict there's going to be a huge run up on Brady prices. I just think it's going to either level out or maybe go down a smidge. So that's why I was a little bit quick to let go of the Brady and not really sweat it too much. Giannis, I do have a lot of love for Giannis. I think he's super undervalued. So that was probably one that probably was not a super smart move to let go of, but I did make a margin on the card, so I did make some money on it. So I wasn't, gonna hold on to something just, for speculation's sake. I want to make money and keep the money moving through the cards I get. And then the Mbappe, my vision is, World Cup's coming up, soccer's gonna heat up, Champions League is right around the corner. I just think soccer, this is going to be the year that soccer, I think, takes that big leap forward. So any soccer right now, I'm really bullish on getting in. So that was sort of my rationale behind this trade overall. Plus, I got $750 in cash, so that also helps to be able to reinvest that into other stuff as well. So there you go. All right, just a quick sale here. This guy collected Derek Jeter. This is one card he didn't have. So, this is a really nice copy of the 96 Topps Chrome. I just, liked this card a lot, so gave it to him. I think I gave him $10 off the sticker to give him a little love. But yeah, just another beautiful card that I graded myself with PSA and got it back in, the year-long slow boat. So anyways, just wanted to show that. And here was one of the last deals of the day that I did that I actually had a picture of. And so this gentleman came in. He had a box of a complete set of 86 Fleer and a bunch of the stickers graded. Mostly commons in the box, but he had the key cards graded, like the Barkley and Olajuwon, the Malone, and so on and so forth. He had probably about 4 of these Jordan stickers that were graded. I had one of these before in the PSA 7, but it did have the ST qualifier on it, which is stain. If you don't know, basically the card always has a wax, kind of stain on it because it was at the back of the pack, which always had the wax, kind of leak onto the card. So PSA recently stopped putting the ST qualifiers on the stickers just because they all have it. So it was kind of a silly qualifier considering the fact that everyone had it. However, there are methods where you can wipe off the wax, submit it, and get it without the qualifier. I looked at this card. While the centering was a little off top to bottom, the overall left to right looked good, and the only problem I saw, really, if you look at the subgrades, was the surface, which was they gave it a low score because of the wax. So I think in my mind, what I'm gonna do is probably crack it out of this slab, wipe the wax off, resubmit it to PSA, and hopefully get it back like a 7 or above. So that's kind of my idea with this card. So they were comping for about $600 to $650. There's about 3 or 4 transactions recently, so very recent comps for this sticker in a 6 BGS. And this guy really wanted a Durant rookie. So this was one I've held for quite a while. This is a PSA 10. However, you can see from the slab, this is a very old slab. This is like super, super duper early PSA land. So I was a little concerned that if I ever wanted to get a new slab, that it might not regrade at a 10. Rumor has it that PSA didn't grade as hard back in the days. So I was a little weary about that. Plus, the Durants have dropped down a little bit recently. They were closer to about 700, and I had it at 750 is kind of have a little bit of wiggle in there. So he ended up giving me the Jordan with $100 of cash, and I ended up giving him the Durant. So I think everyone did pretty well on this. Jordan rookie sticker for a Durant Topps rookie. And of course the white, if you don't know, there's 3 different colors of this Topps base card. There's the white, the orange, and the black. The white being the most common because it was out of the complete set that you could buy. So again, one of those things where I would love to have the black version or even the orange version, but the white, I have also an SGC 95 in the white. So, I wasn't super tied to it, even though it was a nice 10 Durant rookie card. I felt like, I could move it into something else, and I definitely can never go wrong with Jordan. So there you go. Okay, well, that was the recorded transactions, but I want to share a couple things that I didn't have on the video that were just little pickups that I did throughout the day. So here's one. This was a Steph Curry select. This is first year select, so 2012 select. Just a base rock, copy here, which maybe is about a $20 card probably. However, with Steph playing the way he is and the fact that this is early select, so it's not printed to the moon like new select is. This is pretty short printed, especially in its first year. They definitely didn't print a ton of it. So anyways, I thought this was kind of a cool card. Again, this is 2012-13, so again, Curry being a rookie in 9, this is 4th year card essentially, so still early in his career. Just thought this was a cool cheap pickup. I think I gave the guy like $15 for it, just to pick it up and maybe keep it in my bargain bins for down the road. So just wanted to kind of share that one. I'll kind of throw them up here as we go through them, just so they're still hanging around in the background so you can see them. I'll have to get better at like positioning these things. Okay, my other buddy came through and he just ripped a box of Mosaic. He ended up pulling a bunch of stuff, but these are the 2 that I got from him. He's my really good friend, so he gave me a super duper deal. He's like, I'm never gonna look at these cards again, so if you want them, just give me an offer. So I threw him out $50 for these 2. This is the Weissman. This is the NBA debut, so not as valuable as the base card, but it is the silver parallel, so at least you have it, in a short print parallel. And then this one was really cool, which is the introductions, but this is I think it's the white parallel, and this one is numbered out of 25, so pretty low number card. I looked at comps, and actually there was quite a few that sold over $100. So between the 2, I think this one's probably about $10-15. This one, over $100. So I got these both for $50, which I thought was a pretty good deal. But again, it was just for the fact that he just didn't really care about him. he wanted him to be gone. A couple more here. This is a Wander, pretty simple card, nothing crazy. This is the paper Bowman, first Bowman card. So again, paper is always a lot less sought after than its counterpart in the chrome. So again, nothing crazy, but it is a 9.5, which is a decent grade. I think these were valued at like $60 or so, so nothing crazy, but I definitely want to get some Wanders leading into the season. I do think he's gonna, get a lot of attention in the hobby, especially when Topps Series 1 drops and his very first rookie cards start dropping. He's definitely going to be a sought-after player. So anyways, just grab this for super cheap. I honestly can't remember what I paid for it, but I definitely know it was like $50 or less for that card. So that's a pretty cool one to have. Man, these little stands are chintzy, so sorry if they end up all like crashing down here. Another guy I did a deal with, I didn't record it. Actually, I think I did. I think it was one of the Jared Kelnick deals in there. I ended up picking these up to kind of offset the price of the Kelnick. Sorry, there we go. So I got this Bobby Witt Jr. This is the Mojo Refractor, first Bowman. And then I got this Pete Alonso Topps Chrome Auto rookie card as well. So I like both these guys. Obviously, Witt's, still a prospect coming up. Alonso, you know, 2-time home run champion. The Mets, I don't know, you know, that's going to be the question mark, is can the Mets, you know, make a move to get them into contender status, or is Alonso just going to be that guy that's, you know, that beast, you know, on the team that can never really get too far. But, you know, just overall, I think Alonso's a pretty exciting player, so this was a really clean copy of his auto. I love the on-card autos too, just really nice. And then just Bobby Witt and the Mojo. This is, if it's a gradable card, which I thought it looked like it was, could fetch a pretty penny if it comes back a high grade. So anyways, these were just two other pickups I did. We'll replace a couple of these guys. We'll replace him. We'll put him up there. Give old Pete some love. And the big one that I didn't record, which I'm surprised I didn't because it was a big transaction, finally got my hands on the true Mbappe rookie sticker. So this is a PSA 8, which is a decent grade for a sticker. Obviously, we'd love to have a 9 or a 9.5 or a 10, but the 10s are obviously quite a bit of money, 5 figures we're talking. So got the 8, had a value of about 700-ish was kind of the recent, which is actually down quite a bit from its peak. So I think this has a lot of room to go back up. So I wanted to get this. The centering was beautiful on this. So I think, you know, this is definitely undergraded card. I think this definitely could command a 9 and on a better day. But this beauty, I ended up trading my Scoring Kings Michael Jordan PSA 8, which I had a value at about $1,000 on it. The card is gorgeous. Definitely, that card itself probably got the most attention in my showcase throughout the day. But I really wanted this Mbappe. This is one that I haven't had yet. So went for it. He ended up giving me $100 cash for the Jordan Scoring Kings. So overall, I did get the Jordan raw, graded it, so I was only into it for, you know, a little bit over $600. So I definitely feel like this was a win for me on either way you look at it. So anyways, that was the final transaction of the show. Love this card, sticker, and everything else. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you like this new format. I'm going to continue to have the background so it's not just my hands here in front of your face. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. We'll really appreciate it. If you like this video, hit the like button. Let me know this is something you want to see more of. And of course, comment below. Let me know about some of these trades and these deals that I did. I'd love to hear it. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.